Today we are looking at the new Tier 9 French premium autoloader that you can get from special Battle Pass chapter. I'm going to let you know everything that you need to know about Char Murat. Let's jump straight into it. First, let's have a look at the gun. Char Murat has 3 shots, each dealing 390 damage. With a 2.5 seconds inter-clip reload, we can burst roughly 1200 damage in just 5 seconds, which is great. Apart from that, shell velocity on APCR is good. Sniping at range or moving vehicles is relatively easy. Our DPM is very bad, but it is a trade-off for the burst. With the Char Murat, we want to hit and run. Moving on to the gun handling of Char Murat, we can see that it's not so good. We have average accuracy, but huge bloom while moving the tank, and bad aiming time. But minus 12 degrees of gun depression is very nice and allows us to contest unusual positions or ridge lines. Overall, our gun is fine, I would say. But with a long aim time and bad dispersion factors, it's hard to aim between the shots and pan your shots, especially if you have to move even a little bit. So, peeking around corners like this, I don't expect to be panning all of my shots, but standing stationary for 2.5 seconds, I was able to connect second one. That allowed me to put HP of the object for 30 down to 2 shots, and we're gonna have to keep one of those for the one-shot Cobra. This, I would say, was the perfect situation for Char Murat. We used our first clip on Progetto 65 going up the hill. Then we traded a little bit and took control over the middle. Now we can create a nice crossfire on the enemies camping around the base. And every time you manage to do this, Char Murat is perfect. But guys, it's not as good as it might seem in the first look, and later in the video I'm going to tell you why. For now, let's push towards Object 268, trying to kill Char Murat. If done correctly, we should be able to connect a couple more clips in this battle. That was pretty good. We managed to kill Char without receiving anything back. Now let's see if we can do the same against Object 268. If done correctly, we will still have HP to take a shot and do another clip later in the battle. Pay attention at the gun handling in these moments. I noticed Char Murat pushing towards the middle. I have to adjust my tank, but the bloom is just too big. I end up missing my first shot and took 2 in return from Char Murat. This leaves us 1 shot on the battlefield, and we cannot make a single mistake anymore. And one more example just seconds later. RT got spotted, I want to adjust my tank, but the bloom is too big, aim time is too long, I'm wasting my shot. Together with the miss on Char Murat that was quite costly and miss on RT, I might have been able to get 8000 damage game out of this, have I had the HP to take a shot from M60 and give him 3 in return. But unfortunately it wasn't the case and gun handling let me down in this battle. But nevertheless, this was the highest damage game I had so far, and now allow me to show you the most exciting round. We are playing Westfield as a top tier medium against double RT and platoon of French autoloaders. While I'm driving into position, let's talk about the armor of Char Murat. At first glance, this might not seem like a French medium tank, but guys, the looks can be deceiving. After the ricochet of the pink area, it is going to be 100% chance, because the shell ricocheting into the gun mantling, and there it is no problem to pan. But keep in mind that this area here is where your auto aim is going to be, so trying to circle Char Murat using auto aim might result in unfortunate bounces. But other than that, this tank is pretty much no armor at all. But what we do have is the gun, And with this tank, my aim was always try and find positions where I can bleed enemies on the cross. And there is no better position to do it on Westfield other than from here, especially if you have a teammate who is spotting for you. We are going to be relying heavily on our mobility throughout this game. Let's have a look at the stats to understand what they are all about. Having 60 km/h top speed and good terrain resistances on hard and medium terrain, we are quite fast. But pay attention that on soft terrain we are only able to reach 32 km/h, half of our nominal speed. With average power to weight ratio, this tank will struggle in the water. That's why you must train off-road driving skills for your driver. Otherwise, this tank won't move. Together with the lining here, we've spent a lot of time talking about mobility of this tank, and I think we figure out the problem. Despite having 60 km/h top speed, we are struggling to reach it, and the problem lies in power to weight ratio. That's why I decided to play with a turbocharger to boost power to weight as much as I can. If you watched my Prototype 6 rating video, you already know in which position I'm going, because the situation is exactly the same. And everyone else is probably going to be surprised. While we are going there, let's talk about equipment and field mods of Char Murat. From the moment I got this tank, I was playing with the turbo, vents and stabilizer as main build, and in battle here I did not have the field mods to open secondary equipment and get full scouting equipment. And as I earned experience on my tank, these are the field mods that I chose. With the most important one being level 7, that is the most important field mod for autoloaders. It reduces our bloom after firing, allowing us to connect more shots. But at the moment I didn't have any field mods whatsoever, so we cannot see the result of it. But luckily for us, we were able to kill Borat. Had he stayed alive there, he might have changed the outcome of this battle. For now, we just have to wait for enemies to make mistakes. And why not look at the camo rating of this tank meantime? Unfortunately, it's nothing special, but it works. With crew skills and scouting equipment, it's quite comfortable to play around the bushes, and in addition with a good view range on open maps, we can easily outspot enemies. And honestly, playing this tank on the distance is probably the best way to do it. The tank is huge. It doesn't have phenomenal camo, especially now when I'm playing without low noise exhaust. That's why you need space to outmaneuver and outspot enemies. That's why playing open maps like Westfield is a blast. And with enemies continuously pushing into our camp positions one by one, we somehow managed to gain an advantage. Seeing an opportunity, I want to chase these contradictions down. With contradictions down and having enough HP to take a clip from Char Murat, we just have to avoid arty shot, and this game should be a victory. I want you to know that Char Murat is very hard to play. Not only because you have to manage your clip, but also account for the size of the tank that has no armor. Positioning with it is very important, but sometimes quite difficult to manage. If you plan to finish all stages and spend 3,500 gold, it can be super worth it. You are getting balanced tier 9 premium and all of the rewards in between. Especially for someone who does not have many premium tanks, this is just perfect. But if you have a lot of premium tanks that you like already and not super excited about Char Murat, it will most likely be collecting dust in your garage, so you aren't missing much. Personally, I did not enjoy Char Murat that very much. I love nimble tanks with amazing gun handling, but this tank is quite the opposite. It's huge, sluggish, and with a mediocre gun handling. With these limitations, Char Murat is reactive to what is happening in the game, and often you end up giving away advantageous positions and or map control. I rate Char Murat 6 out of 10. Tank works if you learn how to play it, but keep in mind that it's almost impossible to make pressure with this tank and make plays, mainly because of the size of this tank. More competitive mediums are either equipped with a better gun or more suited for scouting, having a much smaller size. My friends, I hope I was able to show you all the pros and cons of this tank and help you decide whether this tank is going to fit your playstyle. Thank you for watching.